The morning air backstage at the Today Show was tense, more than usual. Cameras were set, lights were bright, and the bustling crew moved with precision. But all eyes were subtly drawn to the corner, where Carrie Underwood and Hoda Kotb were having a quiet yet intense conversation. Carrie, dressed in a sparkling navy blouse and tailored black pants, frowned slightly, tapping her fingers on the edge of the makeup table. Hoda, in a pastel blazer and skirt, leaned forward, voice low but sharp. "I just don't think it works this way today." "Carrie," Hoda said, glancing at the producer hovering nearby. Carrie shook her head, her tone clipped. "I've done this 100 times. We don't need to change anything for ratings or timing." The producer, trying to mediate, stepped in. "Ladies, 5 minutes, then it's showtime. Let's keep it smooth." Carrie exhaled sharply and adjusted her notes. Something about Hoda's suggestion seemed patronizing, and Carrie's patience thinned. She loved performing, loved being on air, but being told how to present herself by anyone was a trigger. Hoda noticed Carrie's tension but pressed on, suggesting slight alterations to Carrie's segment. Carrie's jaw tightened. This wasn't just a disagreement over camera angles or sound checks. It was about control, recognition, and respect. The room felt charged, like a storm ready to break. Camera operators tried to act casual, but every crew member sensed it. A clash was inevitable. Carrie's eyes met Hoda's, and in that moment, both women knew this was no ordinary misunderstanding. Minutes ticked by, the crew whispered among themselves. The lights, cameras, and mics were ready. But the real drama was about to begin, far from the broadcast lens. The countdown for the live show had begun, but backstage tension had reached its peak. Hoda tried one last time to redirect Carrie's attention to the segment notes, her voice firm but polite. "Carrie, just consider this adjustment. It'll make the audience connect more." "I don't need consideration." "Hoda, I've prepared this exactly the way it should be," Carrie snapped, her voice rising despite her effort to remain composed. Crew members glanced nervously at each other. The set manager whispered into a walkie-talkie, aware that a scene could unfold. Hoda's expression hardened, not in anger but in principle. "Look, I'm not here to undermine you, but I am here to help you make this work for everyone watching." Carrie stood up, her hands slightly trembling. "I don't need help. I don't need direction. And I definitely don't need to be told how to perform by someone else." The words hung in the air. Hoda's eyes flashed and she raised her voice just slightly. "Then maybe you should leave, Carrie, if you're unwilling to collaborate." The tension snapped. Carrie, usually composed and professional, threw her hands in the air, grabbed her notes, and stormed toward the exit. The crew parted, shocked, as she moved with purposeful strides. Hoda remained standing, her expression a mix of frustration and disappointment. A camera operator whispered, "She's really gone." Carrie didn't stop. The hum of the studio, the chatter of producers, the click of cameras, it all became background noise to her. In that moment, she needed space, a breather, and to reclaim her sense of authority and dignity. Hoda's warnings echoed, but Carrie knew she couldn't compromise her voice. Not even for live television. By the time security gently blocked her path outside, Carrie had already composed herself, enough to take a deep breath and leave the premises. The storm had passed, temporarily, but the aftermath would ripple throughout the studio all morning. Later that afternoon, Carrie sat in her car outside a quiet cafe, phone in hand. The morning's clash replayed in her mind, the raised voices, the tension, the adrenaline. But as the initial anger faded, a more reflective mood took over. Hoda's intentions weren't malicious. She was trying to guide, to support, and ultimately to make the segment shine. Carrie recognized that now, even if it had felt like an attack in the heat of the moment. She sent a short message. "Can we talk later? I think I overreacted this morning." Within minutes, Hoda replied, "Of course. I value your voice, Carrie. Let's reset." The gesture was simple but meaningful. Carrie realized that leadership, collaboration, and respect were delicate balances, especially in high pressure environments like live television. Storming off had been her release, but reconciliation was the wiser path. Later in the day, in a private corner of the studio lounge, the two women met. They laughed softly, exchanging small apologies. "I guess mornings are harder than I thought," Hoda said, smiling. "And I guess I need to breathe before I storm off." Carrie replied with a chuckle. The tension dissolved, replaced by mutual understanding. Both women were strong, determined, and passionate about their work. But they also recognized the importance of communication and patience. By evening, producers and crew would hear only the polished segment broadcasted on air, unaware of the morning's turmoil. But Carrie and Hoda had learned something more important. Respect isn't just given, it's earned. Through listening, compromise, and acknowledging each other's perspective. As Carrie drove home, she glanced at the setting sun through the windshield. A sense of calm settling over her. Storms, she realized, were temporary, but lessons, when embraced, could last a lifetime.